Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. We bring you here live to the Pennsylvania 500. We are excited to have you guys join us here tonight as this race is going to be a wild one. Drivers getting lined up here on the track, ready to go ahead and conquer this track. They've raced here once before about a month ago, and they're going to come back and do it again. 120 laps is what they'll be set up for with a 77% fuel limit. Fortunately, 10 sets of tires will be down there in the pits. Stella already knows that fixed setup league here obviously brings a no faster pair limit, so that's going to be pretty tough here. Stella will be joining us as our commentator. I'll be your lead producer, and Stella, out there, go ahead and tell me a little bit about this track, seeing that we're at 120 degrees.
Stretch of 3,700 feet. It is going to be criminal not to set yourself up for that turn one.
Yep, going to be pretty tough out there. And we've got Greg Thielsen will be hanging out there in the booth for our RC tonight. All right, let's go ahead and get to our starting grid as they wrap around turn number one. Dustin Kleba and Brian Jones will be sitting 1 and 2. Cody Reeder sitting third. Not bad out there for the Evernham Motorsports crew, sitting 1, 2, and 3 in their Fords. Moving on to Nick Presley, Kevin Baumler, and Vincent Arthur to round out our third row. Moving on to Anthony Kroback, Matthew George, Jeff Dillon, and Kyle Rochelle. Finally, we break outside the top 10 here, where we finally, where it seems we find Jacob Gladelick. He'll be sitting 11th next to Ryan Housden, who looks like he'll be in a new number here tonight in the 41. Jake Christenberry in the 48, and Joseph Andemar will be sitting in the 7th row. Moving on, Nick Geilis, Joey Stats, Nick Ham, and Dalton Tucker. Dalton Tucker way here in the back. Hopefully he is able to fight his way to the front. I'm sure we'll see plenty of that. Brady Moats trusting the process here in 19th next to Chase Durham. And moving on to Bradley James, 21st. Kurt Witt had some lead time last race. He's going to be looking to kind of resume that, but with a 22nd start, that's going to be tough. Ross Lineback starts in the 23rd position. Brad Fulham starts in 24th, and I believe we have one final driver out there of Tony Ball. He'll be getting started in the 25th position. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is 25 drivers. We're getting ready here to go. Green flag is out. Turn one here in the Pennsylvania 500, pretty close. We see Nick Presley already popping out a little bit. Car is starting to sidestep on him as he rotates down toward Anthony Kroback. Kroback got a little nervous there. You can tell that no car checked up on him quite a bit there as they rush down here heading into turn number 2. Kevin Baumler would love to not get wrecked out this race. Sitting in 6th, the AOL machine we saw got mangled here last couple of weeks. Hopefully it continues to charge forward. I know there was some little bit of words said out there in the chat, kind of squeezing everybody together, talking about how this race is going and what guys are and are not liking out there. But every leg's got to get better, and the more input, that's what we're going to see. So RC on their best behavior tonight as our first caution does come out here. And Stella, I'm not 100% sure. I'm showing Bradley James way off pace here. Showing him about 70 miles an hour. I don't know if he broke down or what happened here. Let me take a look and see if this is a simple spin out here. Oh, yep, right there. A little contact with the 2349 sends him the rest of the way around. So Ross Lineback gets out there. In contact with the 23 of Nick Ham. All right, we kind of rushed through some of our starting run here, Stella. You were talking earlier about these 3 turns out here and kind of what it feels like out there with the different style banking. You know, so a lot of guys, I've even talked to ones like Matthew George, kind of excited about this track, but in the same sense, a little nervous about one of these corners out here, and he can't really pinpoint the best. So he kind of hints at you got to be good at least 2 corners. The winner is obviously better in all 3, but it's got to be a nice level playing field here. You've got to be good through 1 and 2. That's where I'm the strongest. I am horrible in turn 3 when I come to Pocono. Some guys, it's turn 2 and turn 3, and they're horrible in 1. You know, kind of what's the general consensus out there, especially with Pocono?
Well, it depends on probably how you are at other tracks, because each one of these corners represents a different track. Turn 1 is your Trenton Speedway, turn 2 is Indianapolis, and turn 3 is actually the Milwaukee Mile. So you might want to brush up before you go back there. But if turn 3 is your nemesis.
All right. Yeah, some guys not fan of the Milwaukee Mile, seeing there's so little banking there in turn number 3. Caution does come out here. We should be getting restarted single file. Caution will be thrown out for the driver who ended up spinning out there of the number 4, Bradley James. Unfortunately, he does come down into pit for a quick check here to see if his car is A-OK. Especially with the spinning, they might throw on a fresh set of rubber here. They will have plenty to put on. Other drivers that came down and visited pit road, Nick Ham is actually coming on down. Brad Fulham sitting 23rd. He's coming on down after it looked like a 10.5 second pit stop. Bradley James and Kurt Quist are guys who've been down here the longest. Right now, a little crooked there in his box for the number 4, Bradley James. I know
he was currently on probation for one race, so I think he will probably be looking at keeping that probation at least for one more round.
Yeah, now I'm taking a look here at the penalties that were given out there at New Hampshire, and might have not gotten the memo, but that's okay. Guys will learn. Is actually the 51, if I counted collectively, I think it was 13 penalties. He served for all of them down pit road.
12, 13, 14, 15 maybe.
15. Okay. Yeah, 15,
Oh,
and the
goodness.
number 4 ended up on some problems with pit road
Yes.
entry, exits, and how many boxes these guys went through. It happens. They're just trying to keep it as professional as possible. Races like Phoenix, I would say, would probably be the ones that RC really has to be on the ball. That way we don't have guys cutting the track or anything like that, but we have seen they do offer slight leniency out there. And we'll see how it goes. All right, Jay out there saying racing at Pocono, turn number 1's his arch nemesis.
I think that's because they come off of that very, very long, almost a mile straightaway, and they may come in with a little bit too much speed. They try to give them, at least that's the biggest one, as far as the degree of banking on that turn. But yeah, you still gotta back off a little bit, I think.
Yep, as I show more of a favoritism toward turn number 1. Is the banking actually helps slow down that speed a little bit that you do gain from front to back. Oddly enough, I do not see Christopher Darling or Martin Clute out here. Those two guys are definitely the deadly duo when it comes out here to Pocono. Unfortunately, they were unable to join, as well as another big name, the number 8 out there. Josh Conover was unable to attend here tonight because I had a large announcement for him. What we're going to do here at SimTraX here for the Pennsylvania 500. Seeing that I'm in a little bit of a giving mood today, and we're going to do just something a little bit different since today is my birthday and I've gotten a few things out there. Any driver from the Dale Earnhardt crew that nails a top 3, whoever's the highest driver in the top 3 from the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated team, we'll go ahead and bump them $20 here for this race. Even the drivers don't even know about it. So we'll that way they don't bump and crash each other to get up to that position. I want to see a good race here tonight. All right, Stella, first caution out here for the night. Pace car is going to be heading back in. Brian Jones, Dustin Klebe will be sitting 1 and 2. Vincent Arthur sits 3rd. And Cody Reeder had fallen back to 4th as Vincent Arthur's chart of 3 forward is going to go ahead and continue on. Let's see how that Jeff Ford machine works its way up to front.
Yeah, I noticed he got a little fishy out there on the first lap, but figuring he's probably got those tires nice and warm now.
Yep, as they were double file, they don't seem to have any problem getting back double file after our restart. That is Brian Jones leading the charge here as they closely creep up to us. As I said, it looks like they're creeping up to us. Currently, they're touching 185 miles an hour. So close to that wall. Right now, you can slide a piece of paper between it. Long on the outside there for Jacob Gladelick in the Home Depot machine. Already going to be some tough racing if they're going to keep that up.
Yeah, the cars are forgiving, but yeah, it can only take so much on that outer safer wall.
Yep, as we see right now, that's Cody Reeder taking up a good chunk there of that track. Vincent Arthur unable to get a run there on Dustin Kleba's. Brian Jones once again starting to run away with this one. Kroback is trying to see if he can hold on as tight as he can to see if he can grab a little bit of the door draft here, but look who's starting to send it right up the center. And this is multiple races. We've seen the number 39, and Kyle Rochelle, try that angle. Tries to dive straight in, and he says 3 wide, he's not afraid. And unfortunately, he's been caught up in a couple of wrecks here this season just because of a couple of dangerous moves that we've seen out there. Drivers have, and I think that would be what also would get us here, Stella. Teams have done a lot of practice out here, and you get real nervous getting around a guy who starts really pushing his luck and trying to see the extent his car will go before it decides to fail. Pretty rough here. And Brian Jones, Cody Reeder now takes over the 3rd spot. Nick Pressington conquers and regains his 4th position back, kicking Vincent Arthur back to the 5th spot.
Yeah, those two should be up there battling most of the night. I would be very surprised if they didn't. Seeing Kroback up there actually is a surprise to me. Calvin Ballmer, he's playing it careful. I see he's not really up there. He does tuck into line. I thought he was kind of giving everybody a little bit of shoulder room.
Yep. We'll go ahead and move off Kyle Rochelle. Bam Racing of Anthony Kroback. You talked to him about a little bit earlier. Had a solid top 10 qualifying time, but you wouldn't believe who was on the move. Once again, another race, and we are going to see Chase Durheim, who currently started in that 20th spot. This guy's up to 8th already. That's 12 positions gained, continuing to turn forward. And Chase Durheim may be gaining 12. Losing 12 goes to Jacob Gladelick, who's lost 12, dropping down to the 23rd position.
You're going to see Chase Durheim start from the back for at least another 7 races. He is
off the reservation. That looks like Nick Pressey. I'm trying to find him here. There he is. No caution, though. So it's way off the track. Is going to go ahead and tear up the landscaping here to get back out. Nick Pressey with a huge spin out here. He's going to be mad. Take a look at the rub here. Yeah, I don't know if that was assisted here. Let me take a look. As I see right behind him was Vincent Arthur.
Yes. Very, very close behind him.
Pressey getting a little bit loose. Nope, off the wall and then kick right there at the end.
Sure did.
All right, when we have time, we'll go ahead and see if we can reel in Tony Ball out there, who I believe is our first driver to take it back to the pits. And the garage is where he's going to end up parking now. Nick Pressey slowly limping that car back as he took a hard shot to the wall. Looks like he is definitely limping that thing on in. Let's check down. Oh, yeah. Pressey, once again, another race for the Net Zero machine. Getting smashed out here. Right now, I'm wondering if he needs to find a team, as he is the only driver with Haas CNC Racing. So he is going to be begging for a little help out there. And see if he can find some team that he can hook up. Let's rotate back up front to our top 5. Kroback has taken advantage here, sitting 4th. Still remaining our top 3 is the Evernham Motorsports crew. All Fords in the top 4. Vincent Arthur's our first Chevrolet out there, but don't knock him down. He definitely has the same driving style out there as Jeff Gordon and seemed to open that thing up at will. So sitting back just a little bit for the 24 Chevrolet, keeping Anthony Kroback within about 0.6 of a second. We'll have Kevin Ballmer and Chase Durheim right behind him, and right now I would be concerned about that roundup machine. Chase Durhan has been on a tear here as of late. This guy definitely has this thing hooked up and ready to go. And I'm really excited to see Chase and Chance that are normally out here. Chase is definitely the one who's been putting down a lot of fast lap times and starting to really put some complete races together. So I really think this is working out very well for the 99 machine. Elmas is trying to turn his season around, and no better time than now.
Yeah, last week over at New Hampshire, he did win, and he led 54 of the laps. We had 180 laps there that night, although 50 of them were under caution. But still, it's not like he snuck by right at the end. He definitely was making his name known.
Yep. Well, we rotate back here to Dalton Tucker in the number 42. Definitely racing his heart out here. Stella, you should remember Dalton Tucker all the way back from the Coast to Coast Racing League. The 42 machine has continued to move forward. Not bad here for Dalton. He definitely seems to have this thing under wraps. Currently sitting 11th. Nice turn there, reeling in. Matthew George puts him within a tenth of a second as they shoot down the front stretch. Going to get a decent run here on Matthew George as we are in a chase copter cam. Let's see if Dalton Tucker dives to the bottom, see if he can pass him. He does not. Decides to check up. A little bit different race here for Dalton Tucker. He was top 5 last time we were here. He is starting way back. He started, I believe, in the 19th position? 18th position. To start tonight. Currently, this is him battling for that 10th spot. As he breaks into it, he's got it. Matthew George going to have to check up a little bit. Wow, George. Backing up that turn. That's going to stick Christenberry up. Christenberry wants to get on around, as we've seen him getting, he's been out there hemming and hawing a little bit out there on the chat, saying he's not real happy with some of the racecraft that's happening, and Brady Moats does just that. Shows him a little racecraft on the outside. He's making the pass, and now starting to come down pit road is going to be the 39 here of Kyle Rochelle.
Oh, wow. Now, he is coming in as well as Nick Gillis. Did we have any contact there?
I do not believe so, but our first caution does come out here. I'm looking to see who our guy is off pace.
Should be our second caution already.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Nick Gillis had a problem. So when he was way off pace. Hopefully this does not involve the number 12 here. Oh, Gillis!
Well, now I see why.
Car, though. Yes, he is.
Yep. And why it said he was coming down pit. He decided, nope, not the now.
Well, better not pit, as they have to race around this track to get to the start-finish line. He definitely wants to get around the track one more time before he comes on down. We'll see if this does create everybody a little bit of a movement here and see if pit road gets super busy. Let's check out there in the chat. I see Jay out there. Yeah.
Yes.
Out there on the wall. Somebody's not going to be happy. Lockridge Motorsports is out here joining us. I highly recommend that the Lockridge Motorsports gang, I know you guys are not, this is not an open setup league, but I highly recommend you come out here and give these guys a shot. It's a heck of a league to race for, and I see out there as well LJ Hernandez. All right. Mr. Hernandez rooting on the 45 here of Brian Jones. Jones leading all laps so far this race. Currently has 13. He's looking for the 14th one as that 45 machine. Looking to shift toward the front.
This would also be his second in a row at Pocono.
So the Pocono sweep is what he's looking for, huh?
Yes, on June 9th when we were here last, race number 14, he did win, followed by Dalton Tucker and Dustin Kleba.
All right, nothing too much changing out there on the track as we remain at 119 degrees out there on the track. I was going to say it was a cool summer day here at 82 in the Pocono Mountains, but the ground still remains hot. That sun is definitely beating down on the asphalt as the drivers are working their way down into pit road. Here they come. Yep, this is going to be a whole clear out here. I think the only driver who did stay out is the number 20.
Yep, of Jacob Gladelick. Now, we've been told that they can do 20 to 22 laps at Pocono here on the 2.5-mile course with the fuel that they have allowed. Oh, come on there, Ross. Get in your box.
Yeah, he may be a little too crooked there, and that's what it's not liking.
And 51 is still not learning that he needs to pull out of his box cleanly, trying not to go through too many boxes. That was pretty close.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Kurt Quist actually did something that I thought was pretty wild. He looks like the only driver to short pit here. Set at 2 tires and back out 10 seconds. And that is going to sling him up to the 7th position, which right now, Stella, I got to admit, that is huge here, especially for him and his race team to see Kurt Quist get around like that and shift out. So let's see kind of what happens to the 51 here and see if that's exactly what you're talking about. He cannot exit more than 3 boxes here. So we had our eyes fixed on the 49, 51. There's 1, 2, 3. Yep, he's going to get penalized.
Yes.
Bummer.
Sorry. Ooh, Baumler had a rough been out of his pit box.
Yep.
But while we're talking about pit road, I think after a minute, Nick Pressey has called it a night.
Yeah, heavy damage to Nick Pressey. And that definitely, unfortunately, ruins his playoff hopes here as he is desperately trying to stay in the chase. And he is, each race this guy comes out here, unfortunately, just seems to keep coming undone for him. Multiple drivers have been down pit road here for over a minute. Chase Durheim in the 99. Oddly enough, Chase Durheim in the 99, which, Stella, I hope you're able to go check on Chase Durheim. I do not believe I see him floating anywhere out here at all. I was hoping we could get an update out there. What happened to Chase Durheim and caused him to have almost a 1.5 minute pit stop? Joseph Andujar did the exact same thing in the 01. He's going to be starting 22nd, and Guileless after the spin out, they're going to give him the caused caution and EOL for him. But a minute 23 sitting down there in the pits.
Yeah, unless he brings himself up to the infield car care center, we will not be able to have a chat with him.
Okay. Now we'll definitely have to give him the old John Cena elbow there and maybe see if we can wake him up and tell him to get into the Discord. I think the people out here would even like to know. Revisiting pit road again. The 01 Army car here is in some trouble. Let's see if he can keep it all together. And what is he doing different? I'm wondering if that car has got heavy damage that maybe we are not seeing. Sitting up here in the pit box.
Yeah, that was
there's
20
something right there at the right front fender.
Huh.
Yeah, so Andujar may have been knocking the wall a couple of times here tonight. And if that's the case, then I don't blame him at all. Go ahead and get back out there. So, unseated from the lead is Brian Jones. That's Kyle Rochelle, who came down in pit on lap number 12. He'll have a 2-lap deficit from the rest of the field. Stack up here with Kurt Quist.
Oh, no.
Caution will come right back out here.
Yeah. Okay.
And Stella, we're going to break this one down because this has actually been a complaint here from a few of the guys that the restarts are going wrong. Something can't, you know what I mean? RC can't really do much about the restarts, but there's a difference between the car moving in front of you and the green flag coming out.
Agreed.
It's like you being 10th in line at an intersection. You see the green flag, and you step on the gas before the guys in front of you are ready to go.
That's it.
You know, I think that's only ever going to get fixed with automated cars. But you know, this is this is kind of silly here at the amount of restart trouble we have here from this league. The way these guys drive, this should not be an issue. And I don't know.
I would have to ask this. Oh, crud.
Yeah, and it destroys his car. Yeah, it's going to mess that front nose up, and in Pocono, you do not want to mess with that.
Is it possible that they are relying more on the big green flag on their screen than they are looking forward at the
but look
bumper
at
of the guy in front of him?
There's the speed up. Kevin Ballmer doesn't get the memo there, which shoves the 41 into the back of him. Yeah, so I can't blame Ryan Housden on this one. And unfortunately, Stella, when we break this down, and I know I hate being super critical, right here, this all starts, and don't really like pointing fingers. Brian Jones is the problem here. Do you see how far back this guy's sitting? Watch how he speeds up. When he checks up, Vincent Arthur thinks it's time to go. Here's the check up the rest, and the rest of the guys think it's go time.
Oh.
Starts the accordion in the back when everybody checks up and ruins Kurt Quist's night after a 2-tire stop. Gets him into the top 10.
Yes.
Has to come back down into pit road and kick him right back to his original qualifying position at 22nd.
My question there would be, though, who would get the CC on this?
Technically, per iRacing, the 51 is at fault here.
51. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So he may be starting behind Joseph Andujar, but Andujar is coming down. So Kurt Quist is going to come down and take a quick peek at this race car here and see how bad his damage is. As we can see, he's pretty folded up here.
He is.
I don't blame him. Now would be the time.
Yeah, but for the love of Pete, pull out of your box, like, right face.
Alrighty, and we're going to do our best here when we take a look. Right now, that is Kurt Quist dealing with a ton of damage here, trying to see if he can straighten much of it out as he can. I do appreciate you guys joining us here in the Pocono Mountains for the Pennsylvania 500. This is an exciting race here so far. Unfortunately, we are under our third caution here of the night. This one involving Kurt Quist getting kind of punted out of the way there, and unfortunately has sent him down into pit road to be checking down there to see how much damage he has received. Long track here. Drivers are super excited about that front stretch. I love turn 1. That is probably my favorite. Everybody doesn't like the crossover from turn number 2. If you set that turn right up, you don't even have to let off the gas. You can just send it right on through. But turn number 3 is a pain, I think, for most of these drivers that cannot stand that part here of Pocono. All right, Barney has that yellow flag straight up in the air, which is going to elect that we are 1 to go. Lights are out. Getting out of pit road, I believe, in time is going to be Kurt Quist. He should be getting on around here, and he has got to hurry up. If you think about it, technically he's got to complete 2 laps here. Get back onto the lead lap of lap number 19, then catch the field. Trying to hurry up as much as he can. Look at the number 51 bubble up top. So right now, unfortunately for him, the pace speed is about 70 miles an hour. So he's really got to tear around here and try to see if he can get to the back of that field before it is go time. Separation back there, though, with Bradley James. James is looking to catch up now. And I believe Andujar. Yes, Andujar is getting going. And Ryan Housden came down into pit road, checking out his vehicle.
And he is just now back out.
Yep, checking out there.
Jimmy Johnson would be the answer to that, Jay.
Yep, everybody out here on the current lap. So that is a good sign. Everyone's still trying to tear around and catch now. Hate seeing this for Kurt Quist, though. I've got to admit, I think he had an interesting call. They're only taking 2. I think that may have been a definite crazy call here, but that was it. Unfortunately, does not pay off for him. I think if he ended up having served any damage, go ahead and get back to him. All right, it looks like he may catch up just in time. You see him there way in the back. If I were him, I'd keep to a restart. Looks like this one's a lot cleaner than the last.
Yeah, in June, 2 was all they had as far as cautions. So I know they can do it.
Oh yeah, but it's not even that. I mean, I think the whole thing that's catching me off guard here is just kind of the silly mistakes. You know, restarts are it's not like you don't have those every race. So we should have this down pretty stout. You know, it's not like Bristol or Martinsville where we've got 30 cars trying to smash into a half a mile. We got a big enough track. We got guys starting in a line. When the guy in front of you goes, go. Or a good thing is once you do get going, which I believe a battle for the lead here is Dustin Kleba. He knows all about it. At a restart, you go ahead and start leaning into it if you do see that green flag, and then drag that left foot on the brake, just in case, so you don't rear end the guy in front of you. Kleba goes ahead and capitalizes on turn number 1, putting the Evernham Motorsports crew back in the lead. Kyle Rochelle will be playing chase now, as he had a stellar pit stop time of 14.5 seconds on lap number 12. Everybody else coming in on 14 as it looks like Vincent Arthur to the outside. Brian Jones wants to rotate out. Jones, car not handling the way he wants, and Dalton Tucker is now going to gain his 13th place here of the night. But as he continues to hold on, it looks like to the inside for Dalton Tucker here. Tucker in the expelled machine. Round he goes.
Brian Jones may be down 3 places from where he started, but he's not giving up that top 5 position right now.
Well, extremely hard as that engine's being choked out with the dirty air in front of him. Hasn't had to battle that all night, but Brian Jones did work very hard his first Pocono race and was able to come away with a win. But once he got that lead, he never looked back. That guy kept the hammer down and did exactly what he needed to do to make it so. So awesome job here so far. We'll definitely hold our breath here as the 45 machine. And LJ Hernandez out there in the chat, definitely holding on, hoping that the 45 will do it. Stella, I did want to note out there in the chat that Lockridge Motorsports, Devin Lockridge, actually had raced with these guys on Mondays. He says this is a great.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, he says this is a great group of guys to race with. Unfortunately, this race we are plagued by cautions, and right now Ross Lineback is the offender of this one. Let's take a look back and see what happened to the 49 Ford here. Looks like the 23 taking a look. That's Nick Ham. And Ham into the back of him. Ouch. Yep.
Boy, and he's got all kinds of stuff, front and back end.
Yep. Well, iRacing has definitely pepped it up here on the damage model. So contact with the wall is no longer a ricochet and continue. These guys are suffering a good chunk of damage here, and I think it is changing things up. That may do it for Ross Lineback's night.
That right front is history.
Yep. So he is going to be done. Wicked graphics here for that right front tire.
Yes.
That looks like a full disconnect here. Hopefully he's able to hold on. And
like,
there you go, Jay.
I wondered if it would actually wiggle itself off, and it did. I was waiting for the tire to wiggle itself off.
Yep, it looks like they were able to get the road crew out there and grab a hold of his front bumper and try to put it back on. They've got that back attached to the Ford Taurus there. I'm sure they're working on taping it now. And seeing hopefully if Ross can get back out there. I don't think he's going to have a good chance here with the right front suspension damage. 49 Ford not in the infield car care center, so that means they're going to try their best to come in and fix it. Let's check in on our pit strategy. And before we start calling anything, guys with the juke moves out there. Brian Jones is one of them. Anthony Kroback was thinking about coming down and changes his mind. So that makes Kevin Baumler go ahead and sell himself into pit road here. And Kevin coming down on lap number 14 is going to redo here on lap number 24. So he gets a 10-lap gap. And I don't know if, with the amount of cautions we've had so far, if there's any advantage putting tires on the car.
And I think Joey Stats missed his box. Ouch.
We'll take a look here. It's currently Joey Stats trying to enter his pit box here. We'll see if we can see anything.
Did he stop in 12?
Yeah, maybe not far enough forward.
Oh. Ah. Whatever it was, it cost him 20 seconds. Ouch.
Well, that was weird. Hopefully he won't be penalized for reversing out there in pit road to get back into the box. Unfortunately, it does kick him all the way back to the 20th position. Now, that guy qualified 16th. And he has been slowly working his way up to the front. It's pretty wild to see the guys who are our hot lappers, the guys who qualify up in the top 5 and then fall out of the top 10 in a matter of 5 to 6 laps as the back of the field starts shifting toward the front. So it's definitely your faster guys are the ones getting penalized week after week out here, and they've been slowly trying to get back to the front. Oddly enough, pit road, a little busy out there.
Took everybody but our top 10. So we have 10 in and 10 out.
Yep. Yeah, this does give Kurt Quist another chance. Kurt will now be starting in 9th. 51 Chevrolet having a decent time here. He's having his highs and his lows right now. Guy really doesn't know what to do here. Let me see if I can get that chase drone footage here. Looks like his pit crew did a heck of a job here on that Monte Carlo. Almost seems like nothing is wrong. That is fantastic. So hopefully he's able to salvage his race. Unfortunately, the 41 behind him of Ryan Housden was actually the one who made contact with him on the caution that he was involved in.
Yeah, Ryan Housden is going to be a regular now in the number 41. Casey Mears' car.
Right. Ryan Housden will have his hands full here as we get lined up, ready to go again. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, Jay. Pretty excited about the bumper donation here at Pocono. We get ready to go here in just a moment. Dustin Kaliba will be getting us started here. Boy, they're doing a good clip around this track, aren't they?
It looks like it.
Yep. All right, 75 miles an hour, getting ready to go. Holding on, Kaliba. Good restart. Right on with Kaliba. Look at the speed he gets right off the bat.
There we go into that turn number 1. If he holds it and handles it well, how is it the guys behind him don't give that line a try?
Clean air.
Okay. I was also going to ask you a question earlier regarding so pit speed, pace speed is 75 miles an hour, and you've got a driver running like fire to catch up with you. Can they speed?
We talk about like how Kurt Quist was trying to run him down.
Exactly.
Yes, he can hold it to the floor. Got to
Excellent.
catch up, but he does have to check up before he catches the pile.
Okay.
In other words, green flag, he can't pass them before they get to the start-finish line.
All right, that makes sense. I just
Yep.
hadn't occurred to me, and yeah, no.
Yeah. Sorry, we're taking an eye here on Brian Jones, looking to get that number 2 position back. Kaliba pulling away, though, 0.8 of a second. That might be what Brian Jones is looking for. See if he can get away from Vincent Arthur. Arthur trying to break the draft. Here comes Brian
Yeah, but I'm
Jones,
watching.
very tough. Crow back on the bottom, starting to rub the edge. That's turn number 2. See how
Watch
that-
Kyle Rochelle.
Yeah, as they get that transfer, Kyle Rochelle to the
Yeah.
outside. Good battles here. Rochelle to the outside. Almost gives it up there for Crowback and Matthew George. That puts Rochelle right to the 6th spot and more trouble. Rochelle now re-attacking here. He'll have Jake Christenberry right behind him. Not only that, but right now Brian Jones is taking a look at that DuPont Chevrolet sitting in 2nd. Currently, Matthew George is trying to see if he can run down the 39 to Kyle Rochelle again. Everybody enjoying these nice tires out here, but crazy enough, all the drivers we're looking at currently did not pit there on lap number 24. So 10-lap-old tires with 2 cautions already on them. They should be fairly fresh out there, so they should be okay. Couple of scuffs, they'll be out there and still rolling on through. Kurt Quist starting to kind of peek in on the edge of our screen as he hovers around Jeff Dillon. Don't talk about Jeff Dillon enough. I believe we had another driver out there in the number 10 earlier in the year. He did not stick around too long, unfortunately. Driver from Millersville, Maryland. Let's check back in on Vincent Arthur. I think Brian Jones is setting him up here. Here it goes. See that little wiggle of the side? Brian Jones trying to see if he can wiggle off the edge of that door draft here and dive down toward the bottom. Battle for a second, little slip up there for Vincent Arthur. That's going to give the 45 the breakaway. Goes down to 70. He has to make a choice here, and he does. Sticks with Brian Jones. Jones only 3/4 of his car around. This is Vincent Arthur's view. Boy, give it to Vincent Arthur, pushing him down there toward the bottom of the track. Does not want him to rotate up. As soon as Brian Jones can get it clear here, he's going to go ahead and get around him, and away he goes. Run down Dustin Kleba, but in the matter of battling Vincent Arthur this entire time, this has gone ahead and given Dustin Kleba a 1.5 second lead out front.
Oh, most definitely.
George sitting down. George doing an awesome job here so far. We said alongside the wall as these drivers sling past us at 190 miles an hour on lap number 31. I'm so excited to see this one still under green. I would say everybody kind of starts getting a little dozing off there a little bit when the drivers get spread out. But I've got to admit, as these guys are door to door, this is exactly what you want to see. Mess up here by Brian Jones. Looks like Vincent Arthur's going to capitalize, gets back around him.
Oh, well, what did he do? What did he not do?
Are we talking about what did Brian Jones do to make that pass?
Yeah, you said he messed up.
Yep, all right, well, let's take a look here. Glad you asked. Yeah, Brian Jones wants to kind of hang up a little bit higher and couldn't do it. Almost had to brake check there. You see him pulling off the back end there. Vincent Arthur did take a little bit of air off that rear spoiler, which got Brian Jones to pull to the side. But the battle still rages on as we sit on Vincent Arthur's machine again. Currently, his Chevrolet is leading these 2 Fords that are chasing behind him. Crowback in the highest spot here. He's loving it.
Watching Crowback under is I'm biting my nails.
Well, Matthew George is going to try to slow that down. George now down toward the bottom. Going to give him a little something there as he fights alongside him. Matthew George goes ahead and tucks in behind Crowback here. Now following along. Notice how the fight fizzles out here. Dustin Kleba, the more these two are fighting, is starting to really stretch his legs. But we've seen it before.
2 seconds.
Well, we've seen it before. Caution to come back out and scrub it.
Yes.
We talked about Jeff Dillon there for a moment. Dillon is now falling down to 12. Giving it up to Bradley James and Dalton Tucker. Quist had already gotten around him as well. Dillon is unfortunately rolling back. He was one of our first drivers here from the top pit back there on lap 14, who's actually on the march backwards. Pretty impressive to see the guys out front still on the rest of the lead. And have a little trouble here. Check back in on Joey's stats after an odd pit stop here. Currently, he's sitting behind Cody Reeder. Now, Cody Reeder here, unusual for the Evergreen Motorsports Group, that started 1, 2, and 3. Currently, Cody Reeder's sitting back here in 17th.
14 places down.
Well, the reason why, a quick top off on fuel on lap number 25. Cody Reeder looking to see if he can get an upper hand on some of this race.
Trying some strategic.
All right. Take a look at the inside line. Looks like Ryan Newman, number 12, all-time there. Nick Gillis getting a little bit loose.
Ryan Jones just overtook Vincent Arthur.
Yeah,
Put
battle
him
for
back in second.
Yeah, the battle for second kind of keeps switching back and forth here. I do want to hover around that Jake Christenberry area. Notice how Christenberry is on the inside of a 3-wide. 39 machine once again trying to send it 3-wide, and Kurt Quist probably in the worst spot. Oddly enough, it's extremely hard through turn number 1 to take the high line. Not enough fadeaway there, and Kurt Quist is actually going to break away there. Great job.
Run away.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying. We don't talk about Kurt Quist a whole lot. Normally we've seen that guy actually in the back of 25. But here in the last 3 or 4 races, he found him hovering around a lot more of the top 10. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to Kurt Quist and see if there's any change-up that he has been doing here for some time. Some guys have made equipment changes at the house for the sim, and things change up. So if that continues, you see the edge of Dustin Kaliba there on the edge of our screen. Brian Jones and Vincent Arthur leading group number 2 with Anthony Kroback in the final spot. Moving on back to Matthew George being quickly chased by Ryan Housen. Kurt Quist sitting 7th, Dalton Tucker, Kyle Rochelle, and Bradley James. Just to name our guys here currently sitting in the top 10. Still mixed up in all that mess currently is also Kevin Baumler, who's sitting in 11th. Right now he was holding 11th, as that is Christenberry to his outside. AOL machine seeing if he can get on through. Whoop! Yeah, a little bump and run there. Right now Christenberry may be suffering some damage there on the left front from that nudge. See if Christenberry ends up in any trouble. Chase Durheim currently fighting his way back up. Durheim did pit back on lap 24. He's sitting 14th now. He's fought through the field once. He might be looking to do it again. Whoa! Kyle Rochelle off turn number 3.
Diving.
Yeah, it almost looked like his steering wheel got locked up there. Boy, great group of guys here. These guys race around each other each and every week. So I think they've earned the respect of each other out there, what each of them has to do. Chase Durheim taking a look here to the inside of Christenberry.
That corner's close. Yes, that corner.
Yeah, excellent camera view. We're able to get on some of these race cars out there to take a look at some of these passes that we are viewing. Let's check back in on Matthew George here. Unfortunately, under fire here by Ryan Housden. Housden looking to the inside, seeing if he can rotate that target machine, and he's got him. Good clear there. Matthew George may give him a shove. And once again, it looks like Kyle Rochelle, something's wrong. Car heading down pit road.
Well, Anthony Kroback just went off track and down pit road also, so not sure if there was any connection between the two, but it was a little unusual.
Yeah, they should have been well far away from each other when this happened. Let's take a look. Yeah, something's wrong here. Yeah, something's wrong with Kroback.
Hades!
That is a mechanical issue here. Yeah, you can't see. I've seen guys like that when they lose a monitor, turn left and get out of there. Tow truck comes out for the 74. He'll be sitting down pit road. And I do not believe we will see him. 3 drivers have gone ahead and retired for the night. Tony Ball made it to lap number 5. Dick Preston made it to lap number 8. Ross Lineback made it to lap number 23. And Anthony Kroback is taking it back to the garage. He made it to lap number 36. That's going to go ahead and leave us with 21 drivers still on the track, mobile and rotating and on the lead lap. It's all a good sign for the drivers and the crews out there. Still leading here is Dustin Kaliba, Brian Jones sitting second, Vincent Arthur holding in that third spot, and Dalton Tucker, finally opening her up, sitting now fourth with Matthew George rounding out our top five as Ryan Housen gets booted back once again.
Yeah, Ryan Housen in sixth, Kurt Quist in seventh, Kevin Baumler in eighth, Bradley James in ninth, and Chase Durheim working his way back up is in close about the top 10.
All right, we may have a chance to talk to Anthony Kroback, as I believe the infield car care center does find him. Unfortunately, that does mix it up. Stella, you catch up with Anthony Kroback here in the number 70, running top five here all night. We catch up with Stella. Go ahead and tell me, find out what the heck happened out there.
Yeah, I'm down here with Anthony Kroback. He's took that sharp left turn into the grass. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, well, we had a hardware issue there. I'm running on a VR headset, and it just disconnected from my computer, so I figured instead of wrecking everybody, I'd just cut it to the left and get off track. But we're done, unfortunately.
That is a shame. That's exactly what Patrick said. He says, I've seen guys lose a monitor and they just turn left to get out of harm's way and not to take anybody else's race out. Well, if you're taking it back to the garage, we won't be talking to you on the podium, so you want to go ahead and give your shout-outs real quick?
Yeah, I mean, obviously shout out to you guys for all the work that you do in the whole NORA League. Shout out to iRacing and good night again. But it was fun there. We definitely had some speed. I was definitely starting to warm up and start getting into these green flag runs. It was a hell of a battle between Brian and Vincent. I had a front row seat for. But yeah, we'll be back next week.
All right,
next
good to
week
hear.
being the crown jewel at Indianapolis out there, 120 laps there. That is going to be a full-length race. Confidence level heading there, man. That's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. This car isn't really the best aerodynamically, and obviously Indianapolis is one of those tracks, so we'll get some practice laps, turn to qualifying laps, see where we fall, and then, just gotta weather the storm next week.
All right, Anthony. Hate to see it for you. I know guys love racing out there in the VR when they finally try it and give it a go, but unfortunately, that is the problem with the VR, is there are some disconnection issues. Oh my gosh. All right, we are having some trouble out here with Kurt Quist yet again. We hope to see you next week, Anthony.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you. All right, moving on. We catch back up here onto the track. That was Kurt Quist taking it out to the side there. Wild move. I don't know if he was trying to avoid some trouble out there. Kurt Quist is still sitting in seventh. Boy, he is definitely getting the limelight here tonight, as he has been all over the place. This is Chase Durheim underneath of him there in the 99 Roundup car. The four out there are Bradley James, who actually brought out one of our cautions earlier this race. Tons of...
That very first one on lap one.
Yeah, tons of different issues out here. And coming down pit road is going to be Dustin Kaliba.
So we are starting to see some of our earlier pit stop guys, the ones who did not come in on 24. They are now coming in, which is really going to do some shakeups to our tire wear.
Yeah, and a lot of damage that's going to be done if a caution doesn't come down and put these guys all on level playing field again. So pit strategy does come into play. Dustin Kaliba, Matthew George, first drivers that were those lap 14 guys who did not come in, are currently down into pit road. Quick pit stop for Kaliba as he's hurrying up. Back out on the pit road. Fantastic time there in the box. 14:42. Yes. Not bad there. Let's see what Brian Jones does. Yep, Brian Jones, Vincent Arthur going to follow each other. Dalton Tucker did come in on 24, and they are going to wave goodbye to the number 42. 17 positions gained. 3-second lead over top of Bradley James, who's still holding out there for his lap 24 pit stop, and he is going to continue running away, but look at the drivers merging in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, a couple of drivers are shifting around. You saw Kevin Balmer out there as he moved his AOL machine quickly behind Bradley James. Chase Durheim and Kurt Quist were pretty close out there. And look at Cody Reeder. Cody Reeder came in on lap 25 for a splash to go. He's going to see if he can get around the 51 Chevrolet here. Drops down to the bottom, gets a good rotation, and Cody Reeder, through the transfer of turn number 2, gets on through. Go ahead and move 2 4s here into the top 5. Still our podium position drivers currently sitting all in Chevrolets. The rest of the top 10 also occupied by Chevrolets, but that'll change now. Kurt Quist working his way on down. He came in on lap 18. He was able to squeeze out a couple more laps. Brady Moats quickly tucks in behind him. Joey Stats hoping to have a better shot into his pit box this time, as currently Stats in the number 5. And right now, Tony the Tiger hoping for the best here. In he goes. Boy, still, I would love to see if iRacing could try to square away some of these tracks. Notice how the pit boxes are set up.
Yeah, like they've inked it and then taken it away and moved the pit box down.
Yep.
Something like that.
And it's almost kept, so he's almost in a double box there. You don't know whether to go off the faded or the hardline ones. All right.
Exactly.
So quick pit stop there for Joey Stats. 15 seconds on the nose. Lap number 45 is underway. Dalton Tucker still enjoying a 3.5-second lead out in front of the rest of the crew. Currently, Dalton Tucker, I know he's been pretty excited out here. Let's see if he can keep his guys all together. Currently, he's out there racing with Dale Earnhardt Inc.
And that is our eligible team?
Yes.
Okay. Normally, when it's your birthday, you get gifts, but in this particular time, you're giving gifts.
All right, Dalton Tucker currently holding in the lead. Kevin Balmer is second. Bradley James is third. And so far, so good. Stella Pocono has had a couple of ups and downs here at this track. I believe it was not but a couple of years ago they had torn apart the front part here of this track to go ahead and make a few more sky boxes out there to put some high-end butts and some seats.
Always.
But I believe, I'm sorry, there are a few things that rotate in the back of my mind that are just useless information. But I'm fairly certain you said some dude got decapitated here.
Oh, no. Is this the one where the tire came off and took him out? Might be. I will double check my notes.
Okay. Sorry.
And then they put more screens up. Oh. Weaponize that autism.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so the 42 is actually supposed to be, yes, with Chip Nazi Racing.
Okay.
Yep. Currently, he is down hanging out with the Earnhardt crew. And I believe that is also where we find Brady Moats, I believe. He's also hanging out with them as well. So kind of separating out there a little bit. Race still, I would say, calming down a little bit here. Everybody well spread out. Let's check back in on Ryan Housden. There we go. Housden trying to get around a very loose Kyle Rochelle. Rochelle, wow. Okay, his spotter does radio up. I think Christenberry just had a heart attack. Jay out there sitting. Get out of here, man. Nah, I just like mixing it up, keeping it interesting here. So the Pennsylvania 500 coming up on lap number 50 here pretty soon. We are rolled back here to Ryan Housden and the Matthew George area. Currently, that is around the 12th, 13th position. There's guys that have been going at it for a little while there. And we talk a little bit about some weird strategies out there and how the pit road has treated everybody. Look at what it has done and how it's separated the entire track. So our guys on lap number 24 will be soon. And as I say that, Dalton Tucker's in the box.
Alrighty.
So quick pit stop for him. Baumler and James currently 1 and 2. And now Bradley James has gained 19 here on the night in the number 4 payday machine. Must have changed the sponsor out there. Normally the number 4 is out there in a Kodak car. Must have been during this race that they had changed it up. And Stella, any information here on the track? Am I correct?
I am fishing. I am actually fishing.
How wooed.
Here.
All right.
Robert Ricken's car was launched into the catch fence and shredded into pieces. Oh, I think I might be finding it.
Take a look at that. Jacob Kladalik taking over the lead. All right. Kladalik, one of the few drivers still out there from lap number 24 pit stop. Changing it up a little bit. A couple of other drivers. Let me check here. Nick Ham and Chase Durheim came in on lap number 24. Nick Ham has actually been down pit road 6 times here tonight. Currently the only active driver that's currently running around out there. Even our drivers that went back to the garage have not been down pit road as many times as the number 23 machine. Check out there in the Welland 23 Chevrolet. He's currently sitting in third. Gladelick coming on down. And this will give Kleba his chance to regain the lead.
Closest one I can find is a guy got hit in the head by debris and ended up passing away the next day. So what a way
No
to go.
separation.
Not that I see here.
Okay.
God.
Yeah, I thought there was one like a tire.
Yeah, I'd have to keep looking, but I want to watch the race.
Yeah, that was a Halloween thing because I think we had a Halloween-themed race out there
Lord.
at Pocono, and you said somebody had become the headless horseman out there. All right, Dustin Kleba, Brian Jones, and Vincent Arthur, 1, 2, and 3.
I have
Dalton-
no tact.
Dalton Tucker with a quick pit stop out there on lap number 48. About 14 and a half seconds for the 42 machine. He gets up into the 4th spot. So what a turn of events here for Dalton Tucker. Being able to take this race and turn it his way. What a fantastic job he has been doing. Good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking for that, and I'm gonna stop looking because I'm finding torsos in the Pocono Mountains. So let's not.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow. You're gonna make me go and find my old paperwork, aren't you?
Yep. If I remember right, trying to throw back, brain tells me the big show at Pocono.
Oh, great.
That should help.
Okay.
Dustin Kleba, Brian Jones, Vincent Arthur, 1, 2, and 3. We hover around looking for some drivers that are trying to kill each other out there. Brady Mose thinking about putting a little pressure here on Gavin Palmer. Palmer been under fire here all night. Whether they are trying to run him down or he's trying to get something going. Starting to get a couple of guys out there going some laps down and then taking it back to the garage. Joseph Andujar in the 01 has taken it back to the garage. That's now 5 retired here on the night. We saw the roundup machine of Chase Durheim coming down on lap number 50. 4 tires and fuel for him. Back out he goes. Kyle Rochelle. Unsure if he had a speeding penalty out there in the 39 Chevrolet. Currently 42nd pit stop for him. And Kyle Rochelle, that's leaving us 18 drivers on the lead lap.
It was actually the Coastal Financial 200 at Pocono. And yes, no, he was not. I found the one you're talking about. How about the 2010 Elliott Sadler collided with the inside guardrail so brutally that it ripped the engine out of his car and threw it into the entrance of the tunnel turn. The crash was recorded as the hardest hit in NASCAR history. Let's see. 2012, a fan was killed by a lightning strike and 9 others were injured. Lap 179 in 2015 at the ABC Supply 500 Indy race. The leader crashed in turn 1. A piece of his car hit Justin Wilson in the head, and he was airlifted, but died the next day. That is your... So... Whew. At least that's one time that I didn't remember something because it really wasn't there.
All right.
Someone like me.
Yep. Go ahead and call this race here with Matthew George and Jake Christenberry. Christenberry was looking there on the outside, kind of battling Matthew George. Was able to get around and go ahead and hold on to the 6th spot. And Nate, and I would say even the drivers here, Stella, we are looking from the 6th spot all the way back to the 11th spot, really clumped together here, and they are seeing if they can do a little work out there.
Yes, they are. I like it when they're doing some passing and some scooting around. Cody Reeder laying down the fastest lap of the night, which is pretty awesome for the number 19. Yeah. But, yeah, Cody Reeder is currently trying to put in the rearview mirror. See Kyle Rochelle back there. Here's Kevin Baumler sneaking up from behind.
Yeah, good run there by Bradley James that was working his way up, catching up to Baumler and Christenberry. Bradley James sends it a little harder in there. That's going to be a little tough on those right side tires. Nudges the wall a little bit, sends it on through. Sends Baumler back one more position. 4 needs to rotate and cut to the inside here if he wants to try to get a hold of Christenberry. Might set himself up for Kevin Baumler getting a run, and he does. Very close. Brady Moats out of shape.
Yes, and that clump just left him in the dust.
Yep. Doesn't take much. And Brady Moats will now be playing chase.
Yeah, watching Bradley James on the outside there, it does not seem to be serving him well, even though he's looking for, like you say, that clean air. He's losing any potential draft help.
Okay, and Bradley James, one of the late pit guys, coming in, I believe, on lap number 49. He's definitely taking his race and kind of smashing it here. And now he's trying to still make something of it. Quick update on our top 3. Currently, Brian Jones sitting back by 3.1 seconds off the lead, still trying to run down his teammate of Dustin Kaleba. Take a look at James here, boy. He's thinking about it. Inside line. Oh, boy, what a slide. See if he can complete this slider here as he's trying to pull through. Turn number 3. James not going to be able to clear here. That's going to give Matthew George something to think about as they continue racing.
Not dirt, not dirt.
Check out that view.
Nice.
Looking back at the number 4 here.
Close.
Yep. There's the pucker factor for you. Right now, Matthew George hammers out.
Yes, I'm very glad there was fresh air around me because I just took a deep breath. Ooh, I think that was a connection.
Well, Baumler actually is on the bottom line. Saw those two going at it and took the run. Went down to the bottom, sent it 3 wide through turn number 2. And Baumler from 9th up to the 7th spot. Look who's rejoining. Brady Moats.
And Christenberry is giving me the heebie-jeebies. Back and forth, and I'm so worried he's going to get into the back of Matthew George. But yeah, Brady Moats, I don't know what he changed with his line, but he is definitely right back up in the thick of things.
Yep. Now just to show you a little more consistency, Brady Moats driving the tires off this. Silverville, Alabama. That driver has been really wheeling it here. Currently, he holds down in 9th. Bradley James has gained 13 on the night. Still churning forward. Most of our leaders are pretty separated here. This is at where the race is at.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of stuff happening here. Nick Geil is starting to pick up the pace out there a little bit. Unfortunately, his laps are dropping down to about that 57.8 mark. Right now, our leaders like Dustin Cleaver run a 56.5.
That is not great.
No, 1.1 faster than our guys here in the back of the field. About a third of a lap from going a lap down here. As Nick Giles, here comes Cleveland.
Who is running pretty good right now, though, is Joey Stats. He's still running in a 56 second range, and the fellas in front of him, if he can just make up that second split, he will overtake Matthew George and Jay Christenberry.
Yeah, well, he's reaching up and seeing if he can get a hold of Christenberry's draft there to help pull him in. So far, so good. Joey Stats just got to keep a smooth, cool line there, and he should have the opportunity. Matthew George taking a peek to the inside. He gets ready to set up Brady Mose. Christenberry scrubs his idea as he gets a nudge there from the back. Sets these Chevrolets back in line again. Now, we talked earlier about Cody Reeder. Reeder is now moved up. Getting much, much closer out there with Kevin Ballmer sitting right behind him.
Oh, yeah. But looking at just the top 3 podium, we're looking at almost 6 seconds between those 3 drivers. 3 seconds to Brian Jones and another 3 to Vincent Arthur.
But 14 and a half back to Cody Reeder.
Ooh.
Yeah, Cody Reeder say got a way to go to catch up to his teammates up front. So, but he is also on a different strategy here, trying a few different things. Right now, Cody Reeder checking out there. 7 laps to the good on fuel. I'm sure we'll see the number 19 get back up close to the lead. He cannot catch Dalton Tucker. Right on top here with Cody Reeder. He is clutching it.
Hey.
Bradley James wants him to get back up to speed.
He says no clutching to save fuel. Oh, you're losing too much speed. Yep.
Now Cody Reeder may be looking to follow behind these guys, see if he can save a little fuel instead of out there leading.
He came in on lap. Ooh, Brian Jones coming into pit road. He's actually probably one of the latest ones to have pit on lap 49.
Yes.
We've got guys out there still from 42 and 43. So.
Ryan Houston coming down. Jake Christenberry coming down. Well, that's going to make it a little bit harder for Joey Stats to catch that group. And he does do it. Now gets around Matthew George.
And Guyla's coming in.
Interesting angle. Cody Reeder's taking some of his pit strategies out there. What we've got is these guys are separating and mixing it up out there. All the way on the right will show you how far they moved up and how far they moved down here for the race.
Currently, or by doing a pit stop?
Currently.
How many? Oh, okay.
You see the different pit stops and what everybody's doing different. So you see like Brady Motes matches Tucker and Baumler up there. You know,
okay.
And so but you see Motes
Kleba and George are identical.
Right.
Okay.
But you see what the difference is. We've got a guy who's shifting up and who's moving down.
Huh.
Although that might be pretty neat to see.
I haven't seen that before. Not with all those people. I've seen it like with one person or 2 people. But that's pretty wild.
Yep. Brady Mote's pretty quick. Getting in and out of pits for just under 15 seconds. He'll be getting back underway. Number 10 machine and Jeff Dillon will be looking to fire that thing back up. Yep.
Nice.
Now, normally, Stella, what you'll see is guys hold the clutch in, rev it up to about 4,000 RPMs. Once they drop that jack, they drop it. Boom. Dump the clutch and go.
Okay. Is that why he was kind of squirrely in the box there?
Sorry, re-spinning.
Kyle Rochelle.
He's ready to go. Yep, Kyle Rochelle revisiting down pit road again.
Yeah, this will be his third time down.
Yep.
Not in any way.
Yeah, it should be his fourth time, if I'm not mistaken, into the box.
Yes. Now, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, we've got guys 5, 6, 7 out there.
Yeah, the one I'm kind of keeping my eye on here is Vincent Arthur. He came down on lap number 43. His time is due.
These other guys are scrambling and clutching it.
Yep. Well, Dalton Tucker came in on 48, so he's going to be looking to make a pass here pretty soon. But if he keeps Vincent Arthur out front, he might be letting him chew off that fuel. You see Vincent Arthur's having some trouble, boy. He's coming around that turn. Dalton Tucker wants no part of it. Watch this. The amount of speed gets away from him. And that's going to help break the draft. Vincent Arthur able to keep the magnet to him. Arthur's going to be able to maintain speed. That is Nick Gillis, unfortunately, a lap down, though. Gillis is going to be looking to try to see if he can make the pass. Go ahead and let Gillis on around him. And Vincent Arthur, I guarantee, is already radioing up. He's coming down pit road this time around.
Yeah, I was just wondering, did he get a little help, or was that just getting wild up there?
Driver, Vincent?
Yes.
Yeah, he was getting a little bit loose. He was plowing really hard coming out of turn number 1. And that's why Dalton Tucker got away from him and went ahead and made the pass. So already looks like Ben Drew is out there on the wall. 4 tires and fuel for Vincent Arthur. Matthew George, much of the same. Let's rotate back up front. Kevin Balmer holds on to second. Bradley James resuming a third position. Not bad here for the number 4. Dalton Tucker only needs one more spot to be the hard charger, as Bradley James is sitting 18th. Dalton Tucker can't go any higher. He's in the lead.
But Brad Fulham is tied.
Sorry, Bradley James sidestepping it there. It gets way loose, and Cody Reeder doing the exact same. And now I'm sure RC's looking out there for oil on the track. That did cause some problems out there for some of the guys. They were watching out there, and I see the crew chiefs got their hands in the air. As how in the world did 2 drivers in the exact same spot break loose? That was close. Bradley James currently holding in 3rd. Cody Reeder 4th. Joey Stats has fought himself back up to the 5th position. Boys, he got some time to make up. 11 seconds before he can find Dalton Tucker in the lead.
Wow.
Only needs 5 to find Cody.
We've had 45 green laps here, so they're really getting spaced out and getting all their different hit strategies down, getting everything they got going. But, oh my heavens, yeah, that's a mess.
Well, this is what NASCAR tried to change out there a little bit. Technically, if you look at NASCAR, it's when you start adding stages, when you start adding brakes, things like that, when we double file, it takes away the race. You almost restart the race, and you've got 3 mini races in there. This is what you see is an all-around performance here of what, a mistake you made back on lap number 22 is going to affect you here on lap 122. And that's good. It just changes what happens out there on the track. So right now you're seeing what guys are building as a complete game plan here, which I'm sure right now Brian Jones is ecstatic here as he came down on lap number 62. Drivers in front of him, and plenty of them, all still need to pit. Dalton Tucker came in on 48. Kevin Balmer on back to Brad Fulham came in on 49, and Jacob Gladelick on 50. So Brian Jones will finally get his chance to resume the lead, but it does make you throw your hand up and question, What the heck happened to Dustin Kleba down there, and why does he have so much damage?
I do not know, but he has no front bumper. Oh, no tire! Oh my goodness. Well then. Did he do this coming into pit road?
I don't believe so, but I'm going to do my research and see what I can find here on Mr. Kleba. That is a heartbreaker
Okay.
here for his night.
And in the meantime, we will look at Brad Fulham in the 80 car. I believe that's a Slim Jim. He is currently sitting in 5th. Our top 5 right now are Dalton Tucker, Kevin Baumler, Bradley James, Cody Reeder, and yours truly there in the 80, up 19 places, hard charger of the evening so far, Brad Fulham.
All right, we're going to take a peek back here and see if I can find what happened to Dustin Kleba. This looks like where he's still going. Oh, contact there with Quist. Breaks the car in half.
World. Was he coming in or out?
The right front tire's locked up there.
Oh, yeah.
So he goes from almost winning the race here.
51's no worse for the wear. Well, maybe he is down in pit right now. 25 seconds.
Now, how does this not cause a caution?
I don't know.
I've got a disabled vehicle with the hood up, a wheel missing, under speed, and still on the racing surface.
Yeah. I give it to him for... Oh, look at the tires sideways now. Oh. He just took a shortcut.
Well, staying off the track,
Yeah.
which really you got to look at the number 9 there and kind of give him a round of applause of and every driver should appreciate that. But we will take a look here, and I do want to kind of take a peek. What? Good Lord, Klebo's moving quick. Well, Kleba had just pit.
That's what I'm saying. He was coming out, wasn't he? So, I mean, did Quist think he was... No, because he was way up there.
Well, Quist, I'm trying to find out if Quist is holding his line.
Not particularly, but I don't know if he knew anybody was coming.
Yeah, but Kleba just sends it. I mean, he almost looks like he's doing 30, 40 miles an hour faster here. I'm trying to find maybe a better angle of how they made connection. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Boom.
Oh. Now I see what you're talking about, the 30, 40 miles an hour.
I mean, look at the speed on turn entry.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Kleba's car straightens out a little bit, and Quist is just doing his roll. And I really can't blame Quist here. If I were looking in the rearview mirror, he's back half a second, 0.6 of a second. I mean, he made it up in the matter of a turn entry, and that would have scared me too. So just for RC purposes here and league purposes, we're going to take a look here and see what Quist does.
So it wasn't just the contact; it was the wall.
No, he's pretty upset. I definitely believe that. So Kurt Quist down into pit road. Quist has taken it back to the garage.
I'd say he's had enough.
Well, he was still mobile out there.
Yeah, minute 20, but I thought he was gonna come back out.
Well, with the amount of damage that he received from the back end there of Dustin Kleba, that was a hard hit.
Yeah. Good grief.
So we'll let you float down there to see if on Competitive Edge Motorsports, see what the 51 had to say down there in pit road and see what exactly his idea is on what happened here in the race. Cody Reeder, I believe the last of our holdouts as we went through to figure out what happened to our leader out there, is currently entering the pit box. That's going to put Brian Jones into the lead with a 5.5 second lead over top of Vincent Arthur. Now, Vincent Arthur does hold a 4-lap advantage on fuel, and that's going to try definitely switch it up here this race. I like the idea that Vincent Arthur might have if we definitely separate this by about 22 laps. That's going to be pretty close. I don't know. Let's say lap 84. Brian Jones comes down. That's going to give him lap 106. Boy, that's going to be tight. Still plenty of pit stops that need to happen here as they continue this roll. What a wild race this has become as they definitely shift back and forth. And we're going to kind of keep an eye out there of what is going on out there on the track. Stella, you find anything out there from Mr. Kurt Quist?
I did. I found him in the car care center. He's really surprised at what happened. He'll let you know, though. Here, tell us what happened on that turn.
Yeah, guys, no, thanks for having me up here. My bad there to the 9. He was coming on fresh tires. I had a little bit of damage. I was just kind of coasting around on old tires. I was actually clutching, trying to save some fuel, just get an extra lap out of the run there. And he was coming on freshies. Next thing I know, we met, and I couldn't believe the caution didn't come out. But yeah, it was just a bad, wrong place, wrong time type of deal there. But I hate it for him. I hate to ruin Dustin's race there.
Yeah, Dustin was definitely fast, and I wasn't blaming you out there. Looking back, man, he had made up half a second on a turn entry. It looked like everything was okay in the rearview mirror, and then all of a sudden, creep, 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 bang. And then, you were hit in the blink of an eye there. I am surprised as well. Is your car damaged too much to return tonight?
I had about 5 minutes of damage total. I had a little shakeup. We were racing really hard before that. I got in with 48 and maybe the 99 or something like that, and got the wall pretty good. I had about 2 minutes. It was holding me back about half a second a lap, and then that second incident there put me over 4 minutes. So we'll see. I think we might get it all fixed. Maybe run a couple more laps there, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to next week. We've got some speed. I feel like we can put a whole race together, and I think we can contend for a win.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I know we've got a lot of hopes out there seeing the 51. I don't hate poking you a little bit. You've been running in the back 20 for some time. Quick 2-tire call out there, then a little stumble up even on the restart. Man, it's been, I would say you're getting a ton of good luck. You're getting plenty of speed and then a ton of bad luck out there. What can we do to shake off these cobwebs out there and start nailing down the top 5?
I think for one, I gotta start better. For sure, I qualified that, and I think I gotta see what I'm doing wrong. I keep getting DOLs and stuff at the beginning of the races. So I think qualifying is the key. It's not my strong suit. I'm more of a long run guy. I'm being patient. These are long races, so I'm sometimes a little over aggressive. I think I put myself in a bad spot a couple times. So just being smooth, understand it's a long race, over 100 laps in most cases, and I think we'll really come out on top.
All right, well, we'll definitely have that as the crown jewel at Indianapolis will be next week. 120 laps. That's going to be pretty rough out there to see if you can hang on and maintain out there. I know these guys definitely race in a matter of inches out there. It's extremely tough. But that's what you see out of a good league. You see tough racing out here. It's just trying to, I would say, trying to bond. I would say you're an outsider here, Kurt. Coming into the league, working with these guys, and then slowly trying to figure out what everybody's little quirks are. We know Cody Reeder, he likes being a little offset out there on fuel. We know Dalton Tucker likes starting from the back and fighting forward. Vincent Arthur, he has no problem bashing your doors in. I mean, there are a lot of guys out here with a lot of different personalities, and I think you're just learning a good bit of that each and every time you get out there.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. Some of these guys I used to race with a long time ago, back when I first joined the service. I mean, some I go back maybe 10 years with, the Dalton Tuckers, the Conovers of the world, but certainly a lot of guys that, for one, if I didn't forget how they raced, haven't raced with them. So you're absolutely right, and they got to learn how to race with me as well. I gotta, I think I just gotta maybe be a little bit more patient. But we've got some raw speed, and I'm looking forward to Indy. Maybe not my best track, but I do like it, and I think we could try to get a top 10 there.
All right,
Nice.
Kurt. Hate to see you end up getting booted out here toward the end. Hopefully, we'll see if your race team can get that car back together and try to get a few more laps out there on your machine. Definitely, that 51 has been fast and late, but looks like down and out for you, buddy. Sorry to hear it, and maybe we'll catch you in Indianapolis.
Yep, thanks guys. Y'all do a great job. Thanks for the broadcast. Good show.
Cool. Thanks, buddy.
You bet.
All right, Kurt Swift, awesome. Pretty excited to see what we've got going on here. We'll definitely hope for the best of what is going on out there on the track. I guarantee it. Stella, you can almost feel when a guy is getting, I would say, a little wound up out there. You can feel when they start getting pretty uptight. We definitely hope to see maybe that not be the case as much, as we've got a few other guys out there battling out there on the track. So they still maintain. Stella, if you have an opportunity to see what is going on out there, I know shifting around, we're trying to see if I can grab a hold of Dustin Cleveland, but it looks like he is into a park here and has run away here. Not so happy with what race happened. A couple of things. He is pretty upset with his race. Hate to see he can't talk to us, but hopefully we'll be able to talk to him a little bit later here on the night. Boy, Dustin Cleveland not getting his way here tonight.
It has been rough, but we've also had some interesting pit stops while we were gone.
Go ahead and run through them.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at, we're on lap 82. So Nick Geilis has come in on 79, as well as Ryan Houston. And we have several that have come in the 74, like Jacob Gladelick, 73 of Kevin Baumler and Bradley James. And let's see, Brian Jones just came in on 81. So now you want to talk a guy with new fresh tires and previous win here. That might be your guy.
We'll hold on to it there. Brian Jones currently pitting there on lap number 81. Gets back out in front. Jacob Gladelick getting right behind him. Talk about weird switch up. And I would say, Stella, if this does go green flag to the end, is Brian Jones trying to split this thing in half? I think he's going to be looking at one more pit stop, and it should do it for him.
I would say, yeah, because we've got about roughly 40 laps and we can do roughly 20. So sounds good.
Well, but the one thing that we're taking a separation at is drivers like Cody Reeder, who came in on lap 74. He's going to be 94. So does that mean he only needs one more pit stop here?
I'm figuring all of them only need. Oh, no, not all of them.
Well, Cody Reeder, you already saw him fuel saving before. So I'm wondering if he's trying to get a little more longevity out of that car. He makes a quick little pass there on the number 10 machine of Jeff Dillon. A lap down, holding in 15.
Well, the ones I'm looking at are the ones that are still in the 60s. Matthew George, Joey Stats, Brady Motes, Vincent Arthur. They're going to have to make a coming. Oh, there's your Brady Motes.
Yep.
They're going to have to come in pretty darn soon.
Yeah, I'm assuming Vincent Arthur, he's going to be looking at a two-stopper to get back out there.
Okay.
We'll see, as he came in on 66, so he is done. What are we looking at, about 18 laps here?
Yep.
So he's got a few more to go. We'll see if he can do it. Boy, Brian Jones, look at the amount of speed this guy's getting. Knocked down his best time with a 55.53.
Woo.
Holy cow. Still not the fastest on the track.
No.
But he was blazing speed after turn number 2. Has turned it up here. So this track was originally rained out before this race and their warm-up here tonight, so there was no rubber built up on the track out there. Definitely a clean surface working in their favor, but as the track rubbers up, some of these guys enjoy it when it's a little stickier out there.
And we've only lost 2 degrees on the track. It's not like some of the short tracks that really heat up as the cars go around. We're down like 114 now, 115.
All right. So in the process of the non-called caution here, there's a pretty rough race that we've seen here for Dustin Kleba starting here in the race. I believe we finally catch up with him down in the infield park there, Center. The number 9 in a ton of trouble out there, and I'm sure he's a little wound up. Dustin Kleba, hopefully I see that you have cooled down out there, buddy. You led a boatload of laps out there. You had definitely a ton of distance, but boy, did you creep up there on Kurt Quist and in a hurry. 1 tire saving and fuel saving with damage and a guy on fresh tires. It looked like 2 of you guys met there in turn number 1.
Yeah, you guys must be bored if you're begging me to come up here. It's an interesting race. There's a lot of strategy going on out there, so it's tough for you guys to keep up with all of it. But yeah, man, story of the season. I didn't realize he was saving fuel and saving tires, and looked like I went back and watched the replay, and looked like right as he popped the clutch, it just popped him right down into my lane, and I was already looking about halfway through the corner and didn't realize he was going that slow. Yeah, just crappy situation. Obviously, I know he didn't mean to do that, and I hope he knows I didn't mean to absolutely destroy him going 80 miles an hour faster. But yeah, story of the season, run fast laps, lead laps, and take myself out. So we'll go on to the next one and see what kind of creative way we can take ourselves out of that one.
How did it feel having Evernham Motorsports starting 1, 2, 3 here tonight?
Yeah, it was good. Having good speed. I think the 3 of us worked really well together. Brian and I were basically running identical lap times for lap after lap after lap, and Cody just kind of got a little off sequence there. But yeah, I mean, the 3 of us are almost identical, so it's good to have good speed. But unless we get a caution here, I think we're kind of hosed. I think the 42's sitting in a pretty good spot here as long as he keeps up his pace, and I think he's probably only got 1 stop left, and everybody else has 2.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we're leaning on here, seeing that he currently stopped on lap number 71. Don't know if he had enough to squeak it out to the end. I figure, we're debating up here whether we're looking at 1 or 2 stops out of most of these drivers. We know that Vincent Arthur Pitty on lap 66 has kind of made his bed here. I think he's going to be looking at a 2-stopper, but yet he remains out there on the track. He's now pushed past 22 laps on fuel. I mean, if we're leaning toward 20 to 24, that's going to be pretty close here for Vincent Arthur.
Yeah, if you conserve the whole time, you might be able to squeeze out 25. I'm guessing you're going to see him come down pit road here in 1 or 2 laps. I was seeing that I could get 24, and I think Brian was about the same. So if I had to guess, I'm watching the stream here too. If I had to guess, Vinny's going to come down here pretty soon. Nope, he's going to, nope, going by this time. So I don't know. He might squeeze it out and might be conservative here, but I mean, you can see that Dalton's already ahead of him. So, I mean, if the race continues, I don't know how me running over the 51 wasn't a caution, but if the race continues here, the 42 is going to win by half a lap.
Yeah, or into when you hit the wall. That was painful.
Oh, you're telling me. I just about fell out of my seat. Thankfully, the hit, though, might have thrown my back into place. So we should be good there. Probably have at least 3 concussions from both hits, and I don't know, it would have been great entertainment to watch me drive back to pit road with a hood covering my view. I was basically,
we did.
Yeah, I was basically driving by watching a white line and the grass, and thankfully we made it back.
I wondered because you were still cooking, and I was like, oh, he's going down pit. Wait, that's just a shortcut.
Yeah, I had no idea where the inside was. I just followed the line, and we somehow made it. Yeah, even though it would have been beneficial for my team to have a yellow, I didn't want to. I hate being the guy that ruins the race for other guys. So thankfully we got back to pit road, didn't take anybody with us, and hopefully gave you guys some entertainment there. But I'm still watching here. I don't think Vinny's come down yet, so he must have shut off 2 cylinders, and he's running a 6-cylinder right now, probably shutting it off in the corner, clutching it, and doing all he can to really stretch that out. He's probably running E85 or something.
I was thinking he was doing the Fred Flintstone impression.
That could be too, yeah, using the old 2-foot method.
There you go.
Yep, just sticking 2 feet through the floorboard, getting you a couple extra horsepower while taking out 2 cylinders. So yeah, he's doing a great job. Problem is, the 42 is doing a better job. So no matter what he does, he's fighting for something.
True.
I'm kind of baffled here at how far he's going. I mean, currently he's at the 25 lap mark.
Yep. Matthew George just called it. He went in.
We'll see what happens here. See if he comes down.
Yep.
There it is. Slow it. There.
Tough entry. Very tough entry. All right, Dustin Cleveland. I hate to see you getting kind of mangled out there, and we did take a few different angles to see what was going on, and I was saying I can't blame Kurt Quist too much here. I knew what he was doing, but man, oh man, did you fly into turn number 1? I would have marked you off. I'd have looked back in the rearview mirror and said, he's not going to catch me. I'll be fine. And all of a sudden, boom, hitting the back. He gets nervous if he was the fault there. But both of you each said, how was that not a caution? It involved 2 cars, debilitated both of you guys. I mean, I'm a little confused, but, I think
it was bad timing. I know I ran into him last week too, and I felt bad about it last week. So hopefully he's not too upset with me. Of course, I wanted to be upset in the moment, but I always try and check the replay before I open my big mouth. And I saw the lap before, actually a handful of laps before. He was clutching it, saving fuel, and when I initially watched it, I saw him cut straight down right into my line as I was getting to him, but then like I said, it was just terrible timing. Right as he pops the clutch, it just shoots him straight down in front of me, and he was up so high, I thought he was just going to kind of take the high line and coast around, and at that time I'm already looking halfway through the corner looking for my apex where I'm going to hit, and it was just bad timing. So like I said, hate that wrecked both of our races, but I don't know. Let's see. We've got running into Guy saving fuel on the bingo card. We've been on the wrong end of strategy on the bingo card. So next week, I'm thinking either rain or maybe a flat tire, or I don't know. I might hit a seagull or something to take us out. But
No, you got to be original. That one's already taken.
that's an Earnhardt
That's
thing.
true.
You can't do that.
Yep, maybe I'll go for a gopher or a rabbit, or I'll just
like
take a break and do the middle 9 in the center of the track.
Oh, you can't do the rabbit. They just did that 2 weeks ago.
Ah, man, see.
The guy was like, I just hit a bunny over the radio.
Yeah, so we'll probably dominate first half of the race next week and park it and hit some golf second half and call it a day.
All right, Dustin. Well, hang in there, buddy, and I'm hoping for your team to come away with something here. I know it's pretty rough, and Brian Jones is going to need all the help he can get, but Cody Reeder with that offset pitting you were talking about, he might have something going on out there. We'll root you guys on, and Dustin, good luck in Indianapolis next week.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night, guys.
All right, Dustin Cleveland, we get him for a good amount of time. Check him out there and In the Fence podcast. They're on Spotify. Hopefully it won't involve too much of him in this wreck that he had out there. Good Lord, how did that not cause a caution?
I am at a loss. So all I can figure is that they didn't even get off the racing surface fast enough because he hit the wall and then came down. But Quist kept moving. and maybe they just looked at because we even saw people go past him as he was limping in.
Yep.
So I was thinking maybe they weren't, everybody was on the other side of the track or something.
All right, Stella, I do want to point something out, checking out there in the chat. We're getting ready to get to here in just a moment. He's 37 Racing out there thanking us for the broadcast, but he does bring up a great point that the 30 might have something for Dalton Tucker out there. I do want to note that Kevin Baumler came in 2 laps later than Dalton Tucker, so he is even better on fuel, and he's got him to within half a second.
Okay.
So Dalton Tucker is on serious save mode here and keeping the roll. Take a look as he's trying to work around Nick Gillis. I would say Kevin Balmer, rough turn there. I think that might be Dalton going ahead and checking in. Yes, he is.
Okay.
Well, Dalton looking to make this a one stop. And remember, 24 laps across the line here. And Kevin will be able to pit 2 laps later if need be, or this next lap around. And he can squeeze the gap here on Dalton Tucker. So
And that would give him then not having to conserve?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Now, not having to conserve for 25 laps. So if Kevin Balmer is going to save this lap, he may go around one more time, and that could put him on the same pit strategy that Cody Reeder is. My whole thing is I would want to have as much power as possible toward the end of the race while everybody's clutching it, trying to save it.
Yes. Okay.
So, yep. See, right now you see Kevin Balmer has the lead. AOL machine
Eric.
after tons of bad luck here. Looks like he's going to bring it on down into pit road. Check in on Cody Reeder. He's going to do the same. That's going to leave us with Brian Jones, who's sitting back about 18 seconds off the lead here from Kevin Balmer to retake the lead. So he came in on lap 81. This guy's still looking at a pit stop to make it to the end.
Yeah, so 37 Racing out there is Eric Essery.
Who's that guy? No, I'm just kidding.
He's that fella that drives the Ricky Craven car.
Yeah, the Tide Machine. Apparently he's not out here tonight. Shame, shame. But Eric Essery should be joining us here, hopefully at Indianapolis. Was not able to get behind the wheel here tonight. We will see him return. And Eric Essery out there, one of the tough drivers out there, but he is keeping an eye on what these guys are doing at a more of a super speedway 2-mile track. Get a little bit of a hint what these guys are going to do over at Indy for our Crown Jewel next week. Next week, a Crown Jewel does mean it's going to be 100% fuel limit out there, and they're going to go for it.
Yep, I just noticed Bill Harkins is out here in the chat, too.
Totally.
Oh, okay. Eric at least is working out of town. Somebody else I know is watching a baseball game.
Oh. Not everybody can go to a baseball game.
Yeah.
We are still teetering on the edge to see if a Dale Earnhardt Incorporated car can make it. Dalton Tucker qualifies as Chip Nassy Racing. Benson Arthur, I believe, should be down there with Hendrick. We are still in the search. Ryan Housden has taken over, I believe, out there for Chip Nassy Racing.
Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. He's sitting in the Earnhardt cells, too. So.
Yes, chat room, yes, but I want you to double check into the team.
You want me to go pester him?
No, never mind.
Okay.
We'll get it because currently he is filling a seat that was originally occupied by the 41. No longer. 41 is with Chip Nassy Racing. That car itself is currently holding 41st for owner standings. Right now, the 41 machine has been doing horrible this year. Ryan Housden looking to turn that around. Chip Nassy Racing needs all the help it can get. It has been struggling this year.
So Cody Height, Brady Moats, Josh Conover are the 3 that are in the Dale Earnhardt.
Brady Motes is pretty close, sitting 6th. Remember I said Captain Palmer came down, and he came out on lap 97, so he should be good to the end here. Housden and Brian Jones coming on down. I think they know when to quit it. That's going to put Dalton Tucker and Vincent Arthur immediately right into the lead. Brian Jones might have gotten out pit here for this race. A couple of ill-timed cautions out there definitely shuffled the field. So Dalton Tucker only leads this race by 1/4 of a second over top of the number 24 of Vincent Arthur. It's going to be pretty tough here. Brady Motes now sitting 5th. Motes came in on lap 83. I don't think he's going to make it. So Motes is going to have to pit one more time.
Yeah, no, yep, definitely.
Yeah. The unfortunate part here, Stella, is also our guys who came in on lap 90, like Matthew George. He's going to have to come down. He's not going to be able to stretch this thing 30 laps.
Ooh, okay. Somebody's counting on a caution.
And you would think. I mean, Brian Jones was counting on a caution, and here he is 9th. He's currently 22 seconds off the lead now. Once again, these guys are all shuffled up. They're catching up on that number 4 car of Bradley James. Bradley James is currently out in front. As we take a look back, that is Dalton Tucker looking to put him a lap down here.
Ooh, he's coming up quick.
Yeah, Dalton Tucker isn't playing around. Bradley James came in on lap 97. So they should be about tire strategy even. It's close. Quickly catching him here. Vincent Arthur, that had that 1/4 of a second, has now added a second to it and gone ahead and let Dalton Tucker pull away. Remember, Vincent Arthur is needing to save fuel, and it's impressive that Kaliba can see that far out that Vincent Arthur is going to have to save. Remember, he has to squeeze it all the way to the end. He came in on lap 91. He's going to be scrambling to get that. Brady Motes and Joey Stats working their way down into pit. So Dalton Tucker should be to the good and make it to the end here.
Joey Stats, first one that I've seen make a bit of a change in his strategy as far as fuel and tires go.
Yeah. Definitely trying to overtake. This will lock him up for a top 10. Brady Motes taking 4 tires and getting back out there. Now an interesting strategy here by Joey Stats. I think this may come back to bite him later on.
Yeah, because wouldn't Brady Motes just fly right past him?
Yep, here in a little bit as soon as those tires warm up.
Okay.
So fast time there by Brian Jones again. Now starting to pick up the pace. He's hitting 5th.
There's Matthew George.
Yep, down pit road he goes. We're still tipping whether Vincent Arthur's going to be able to do it. Gavin Ballmer has made the pass. And he's 1 lap to the good. And now is looking for Dalton Tucker. So Eric Essery out there might have something or know something out there. Dalton Tucker, I'm sure, is following behind the number 4. He could have passed him, but it's yet to pass him. Yeah, he's sticking behind, trying to see if he can suck up a little bit of that draft there and make it a little bit longer. Ballmer is slowly sawing away at that lead, 1.8 now. Vincent Arthur will probably enjoy Ballmer being in front of him. He can save a little bit of fuel chasing. Ballmer's now starting to make the separation, 0.4 of a second. Vincent Arthur having to get in the gas a little harder, otherwise Ballmer's going to lead him.
Yeah, he's about a 10th. What do you figure? About a 10th of a second faster right now. And he's only got 16 laps to go.
Now Ballmer may have it here. He's just got to keep a clean line. He separates
Yeah.
from Vincent Arthur by 0.3 of a second there in the past couple of turns. And now has run Dalton Tucker down by 0.2. 1.8 last lap, 1.6 now.
Yep. Yep. Except the lap.
See if Dalton Tucker is going to hold on there as Ballmer is doing everything he can to try to run him down. "15 laps left to go here at the Pennsylvania 500. Guys have been mixing it up out here all night.
Yeah,
They
if you
have
guys
it.
like to watch green flag racing, you are getting your fair share of green flag racing tonight. Took them a little while, get the cobwebs out, blow off the dust, but they are now rolling. Since lap 23.
Even after the pit stops, Cody Reeder came in on lap 97 there with Kevin Ballmer. I'm assuming we'll probably see Cody Reeder slide up into the 3rd spot here. Brian Jones still scrambling to find a little extra speed there, still 16 seconds behind his teammate. Still about 20 seconds off pace, though.
Cody Reeder, 2.5 behind Vincent Arthur. And he's running 0.2 faster.
Something tells me Dalton Tucker may have this one locked up. And number 4, Bradley James odds up on the 5. Goes a lap down here. Bradley James now currently will be a lap down in 13th. Fortunately, he's pretty safe from Jeff Dillon finding him, though. But now Dalton Tucker trying to scramble to get away. Dalton Tucker was able to fight off Vincent Arthur. And he was going for the lead. Now Arthur currently holding in 3rd. Waiting to see if Cody Reeves is going to catch him, though.
Ooh. See, but that's not a bump. That's him fishtailing, right?
Yes.
Oof. Okay.
Cody Reeder trying to send it out of that turn. Now 1.7 seconds behind him. We are separated pretty decent amount here in the front.
Almost equal. Just about 1.5 seconds between each one.
Dessery flipping the hat inside out, wearing it on top of his head. Little rally cap time, 12 laps left to go. Breaking under the 1.5 second mark here. Ballmer's got to come up with something. Checking back in on Ryan Housden. Housden currently holding 7th. Jacob Gladelick 4 seconds behind. He's looking for Brad Fulham, though, in the 80. Right now, he's gained 18 spots here on the night. Brad Fulham, excellent job.
Yeah, the only one close to that is our leader, who's gained 17 spots. Man. That's pushing it through.
Yep, that's Brandy. This is actually Brad Fulham out there, currently, I believe, running in the Randy LaJoy card. Somebody getting a little loose in front of him. All right, Stella. A couple more drivers have taken it back to the garage. Kyle Rochelle back on lap 74 had parked it, and Chase Durheim has parked it back on lap number 80. Even this for 16 mobile drivers. Definitely a decent chunk of drivers having retired here for the night here at Pocono.
Yeah, that's pretty large for doing, for a big racetrack. We
Yep.
see this a lot on the little tiny racetracks. Oh, Vincent Arthur coming into pit.
Yep, not going to make it. That's going to move Cody Reeder up to 3rd. Yeah, wonder if he knows he's just not got enough fuel to make it no matter how much he saves.
Oh, oops. Gonna hate me looking at him.
That's right. They should always know we got cameras everywhere.
Yep.
Can't hide from me. All right, 9.67 seconds for Vincent Arthur. I think a set of right-side tires might work out pretty well here. At least he can try to see if he can run down some of these drivers that are getting ready to pass him. Here comes Jacob Gladelick. And I think Gladelick may stall out. Vincent Arthur going to get up to enough speed. Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to definitely lopside his tire wear here. Vincent Arthur charging back out. He's got to make up 3.5 seconds to find Brad Fulham.
That's just to find Brad Fulham. He is 36.8 seconds behind Dalton Tucker.
Yep. Right now, look how Dalton Tucker is not accelerating or trying to get away. Gavin Balmer is running out of time here. He's broken into less than a second. With 9 to go. Right now, he's got to get the draft there from the number 4. I would say if the number 4 was on his team or had an idea what was going on, yeah, you back off and allow him to catch up.
Yep.
That would allow Kevin Balmer to go out there and spend the next 7 laps trying to figure out how to get around him. Dalton Tucker's not going to give up.
A business decision.
I think Kevin Balmer and Bradley James have been battling a good bit here tonight. You might find him down in the pit road and give him a quick little throat punch out there to let him know what he thinks.
Oh.
Balmer trying to see if he can reach up and grab a hold of that draft, and I think he's getting it here. Yep, he's hooked on. Breaking in, now he's pulling him in. 0.7 of a second, this is what Kevin needed. If he can hold close, now the straightaway will be where he's going to make up all that distance. 0.6 of a second, Kevin Balmer, 8 to go. Currently can see the leader right out the windshield here.
5, 4. Ho, 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 ho.
Yep.
Man, Dustin needs to put down some money. That man knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, hard dive into turn number 1 here for Balmer. That's going to increase his chances here, but notice how Dalton started to separate. Dalton picking up the pace to see if he can break away from the 4. Because right now he knows Kevin's got his number. 4 out of the way. Wow. All right, Stella, there's your business decision. The 4 of Bradley James gets out of the way, and Dalton Tucker is now trying to scurry away. 4 breaks loose.
No.
Nope, no caution. All things good. Breaks loose, but is able to save it. As the 4 got a ton of wind to the front of his nose, and I think it just walked him the rest of the way around.
Wow.
Yep, so Dalton Tucker doing the exact same thing that he did to Vincent Arthur. Sways back and forth on that front stretch, trying to break the draft. Does just that. That's going to go ahead and hold him to a 0.5 second lead. Well, this might be a shootout right here toward the end here, Stella. This is going to be pretty tight.
And unless they have their favorite turns also, I do not see it decreasing. I see it increasing. As far as that interval between them.
Nope. All right. Saw it down to 0.4.
There we go.
Kevin Balmer might have his number here, but I don't know if Dalton's messing with him. Well, maybe he's got the advantage here. He's got the clean air out front. Right now, if you think about it, Kevin Balmer's having to battle through some dirty air here. And is the swaying changing anything?
Ooh, wow. I thought he was just going to pass him right there in the openness.
Nope. 0.3 of a second is what he pulled him down to. That's going to be pretty close. Let's check back in on Brad Fulham here as currently Kevin Balmer is working on running him down. Check in here in about a lap or so right now as he's getting pretty close to about 1/4 of a second. I see Brad Fulham messing around out there with Vincent Arthur. Arthur had made the pass. And now Vincent Arthur looking at 6th. Needs to make up a 2.5 to get around Ryan Housden, who's currently in that target machine. Coming to the line here. And yep, that is Dalton Tucker doing everything he can to see if he can break this free.
Wild. So often you see them, the guys in the front, block the fella coming up. In this case, it's like he's avoiding him.
Well, what it does is it puts the air to Kevin Ballmer's nose.
Yes.
Slows him down as an IndyCar move that you see 90% of the time. Because right here, Dalton Tucker needs to set up for the next turn, and this is where Kevin starts reeling him in.
Okay.
It's a stronger bite into that turn. Kevin looking to rotate out. Kevin sidestepping it. See that car sliding to the side. That costs him.
Yep.
Kevin being really strong on turn number 3. Oh, Dalton slips a little bit there. Kevin's starting to having a scramble looking for an answer here.
Three laps to go. We are within the green-white checker.
All right, Stella, all things cool here on the eastern front. Right now we see Dalton Tucker. There it is. Trying to wiggle again. Trying to see if he can break loose of him.
But doesn't that slow him down going east-west rather than north-south?
He seems to be maintaining speed. Because as soon as he throws that air to the AOL machine, Kevin starts nosediving.
Okay.
So it kind of keeps him at bay there. Quarter of a second behind right now. Kevin's trying to run him down here. Kevin's got his time, and his time is now.
2 laps to go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the white flag next time by. The Pennsylvania 500 coming to an end. Few cautions to stumble us at the beginning. We haven't had a caution since around lap 30. Underway. Currently, we are locked in to our top 2 drivers of Dalton Tucker and Kevin Ballmer. These 2 Monte Carlos are going to go at it here, as Ballmer has raced his heart out to get him down. Ballmer has been in the top 5 all night, especially starting there in 5th, but Dalton Tucker outside the top 15 has the lead. Early as they come around turn number 3, Kevin Ballmer has got to make his choice here if he can get around him. Let's check as we get in the chase copter cam here. Top spot, look at the difference. What Dalton Tucker's doing as he breaks free. Kevin Ballmer's going to need to make huge strides here, and I don't think he's going to have it. Quarter of a second behind. Ballmer much higher into the turn, bleeding off a ton of speed here from the 30. Can he cross up? Right now, Ballmer does get a decent run here, coming out of 1. Here's the chance. 1/10 of a second. Close. Kevin Ballmer going to take a look. No can do on the transfer of turn number 2. The AOL machine running here on the inside. Let's see if he can conjure up a little bit of power here from Jeff Burton, who ran the number 30 here. Here it comes into turn number 3. Dalton Tucker. Excellent block. Slices down to the bottom. But this is going to give Ballmer a chance to see if he can pivot and push. No can do. I don't think Kevin Ballmer's going to have enough for him. To the checkered flag, Dalton Tucker in the number 1 spot's going to get it. Cody Reeder back there a good ways here. Goes ahead and finishes up his race. He'll be 3rd. Oddly enough, both our top 2 drivers were in the same chat room out there. And I guarantee it got real quiet right before they got to the checkered finish.
You never know. Watch that poker. You got some of them who talk the whole time, and then you got some who never say a word. So,
Della,
who
take
knows?
a look here. I'm wondering if Dalton's out of fuel. He's out of gas.
Oh,
That's how close. Dalton Tucker is out of fuel.
his engine is off.
Yep. And Kevin Ballmer's pushing him to the end.
No burnouts for you. Well, maybe if he gets in the grass, he can get a couple out. Too funny. Well, now you know what they're talking about.
Made it.
But literally did not make it another half a lap.
No. I would want to know how close was it at the finish. This is from Dalton Tucker's machine.
He's giving it everything. Hiccup.
Wow.
Now he's slowing down, but is he? Oh, there's a light.
Poof. That's it.
Wow.
Made it through turn 1.
That was close. That was very close. What Jacob's doing his burnouts for him.
Yeah. Jacob Gladelick finishing in 9th spot.
Top
Appreciate
10.
you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. We'll be bringing our top 3 up here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and find our unofficial results out there as they try to squeeze everybody together. And we'll definitely go ahead and bring them up here, and we'll talk to them, see how they felt about this race. Boy, what a wild one it was, though. How these guys had figured out what they needed to do and how to get there. Awesome job. Awesome job. All right, and most of our guys who didn't make it very far, sitting here in the back, Nick Pressey. Hard run here tonight, and Crowback with a VR issue. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hang in there, and we'll be right on back. Alrighty, everybody, catching up with our 3rd place finisher, Cody Reeder. Different strategy than the rest of your team. Dustin Kleba ended up in a little bit of trouble. Brian Jones just didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end, but you did. Talk to me about this race, man. Tyne, and what in the world happened out there with the Evernham Motorsports crew starting 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a game plan together, hoping we could just ride 1, 2, and 3 for the majority of the race. I messed that up because I had a pretty bad lap early on, and then there's caution, and we all slid through our boxes and just didn't go our way there. But there's a point in the race where I think Brian and Dustin were leading, and they I don't know, I think I was 8th or so, and it was right on the verge of like, can you make it from here, can you not? And I think they were thinking there was going to be more caution. So yeah, I ended up taking a little chance. I typically lean on like the riskier side, like, I think I might be able to do this, maybe not. But yeah, a couple guys jumped on that strategy and didn't know how it was going to pan out because I restarted last and got pinned back there for a while. But the longer green flag runs went, the better I was able to manage my tires and pass some of the guys. And I came home with the top 3, so can't complain. It's been kind of a rough summer stretch, so nice to get a podium finish again.
All right, how does this
Yeah.
transfer over to Indianapolis next week, seeing it's the crown jewel race?
Yeah, I think you're going to see similar things. The tracks, I won't say are super similar, but there's a lot of similarities in just the way that you drive the car and get in the corner. And so these cars, compared to the old one, the draft is much more drastic, I guess. Drastic, if you will. But
Cute.
it's it's just a lot more. It pulls you a lot heavier, so it's harder to get away. And you can almost work together, almost like a tandem. So, yeah, I haven't practiced for that yet. I'll probably hop in there and qualify just a little bit, but it's nice to rebound from whatever that was last week.
Whatever that was last week. All right, well, we kind of tip back and
That was
forth here on what
22.
exactly is going to happen. Before this race, you were starting third in the points. You know, Dalton Tucker winning yet another race. This is going to get pretty close. This should squeeze you a little bit closer there to Vincent Arthur. You know, as the season starts to wind down here a little bit. I mean, we nervous at all, or we think we might have this starting to go your way after this?
I still think the favorites right now are going to be Dustin, Dalton, and Brian. I think Vinny and I are in that second pack, probably with a couple other guys maybe. So, yeah, it's nice to continue to move the way up in the standings. I think it's a little bit different just with how the chase format works. It's not about winning as much as it is. It's just having good, solid races and pointing your way and all that. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I was pretty pleased with my speed at New Hampshire. I know we're opening the playoffs there, and there's a couple wild card races in that stretch, so it can go either way. But the big thing is if Dalton's going to win, you can't finish 7th or 8th. It's just you're not gonna be able to win the championship that way. So I don't know. I think the further we go, and then we're adding a bunch of newer guys. It's brought the field closer together. So. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could say I'm feeling pretty confident, but you just don't know. Every lap, especially when you're racing around guys you don't know very well, it can change in a hurry.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll wish you the best of luck at Indianapolis. Go and give me a shout out here, and let's get you practicing.
Yeah, shout out you guys putting on the race. Thanks for doing what you do and bring it to our friends and family. Shout out to Brian. He had a great night. Shout out to Dustin. Not so good after what was looking like a pretty good event for him. So thanking my wife, who is very, very pregnant right now and also taking care of our 2-year-old as I do this every Monday night. So thanks for her for letting me do this. And yeah, see you next week.
I hope so. If you say she's that far along, oh boy.
There's a chance you may not see me in a couple weeks. That's for sure.
Oh boy. All right.
We have seen more drivers DQ'd for popping puppies.
I told her if she's not crowning, I'm going to be digging down here in the basement on the sim rig. So.
Okay. That sounds like good priorities.
Oh yeah.
All right, Cody. Congratulations, buddy, and can't wait to see what you got for us in the following weeks.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yep. All right, moving on here to Kevin Baumler, who right now Eric Essery out there was rooting on the number 30 machine out there of the AOL Chevrolet. Stella, I believe you'll be chasing down Dalton Tucker out there in just a moment. But Kevin, what a race here, dude. It looked like you might have had something for him, but what did we need to do here in the final 8 laps?
Yeah, how about that? I don't even know where that came from. Probably just needed to be a little more aggressive with him, but to Dalton's credit, he's always raced me clean, so I wasn't going to use him up or move him on that last lap. I knew he was short on fuel, and I had like a 2-lap tire advantage, but we were fairly even there the longer we ran, but I definitely wasn't going to move him or anything like that the last lap.
Yeah, I'm not saying bump him, but when we got close to the number 4 car, Bradley James, that obviously Dalton was using him to the most of his advantage that he could. It almost seemed like your car slightly stalled out a little bit. Were we just outside that draft bubble?
Yeah, it was weird all night. Like, there was a couple of guys that were talking about it, but it felt like if you got within a second, there was like a bubble of dirty air, and it made it really hard to pass. And then once you got into that 1 second gap or so, then you could kind of start to catch the car in front of you again. But I was definitely getting a little frustrated there, and I know me and the 4, we kind of rubbed doors a couple times in the race. So I apologize to him. That's not the way that I race. I know the 48 was crying too, but he's got different issues, so I don't really care necessarily about him, but gotta apologize for the 4.
Well, that also ties up in the earlier bit of the race, the 39 machine, if I'm not mistaken. Kyle Rochelle, you were on the inside. He decides to jam it up the center. The 4 or the 48 are on the outside. Man, you were in a ton of 3 wide racing tonight. How in the world did you survive?
Kind of just laugh at some of them guys. They race like a 120 lap race can be won on the first lap or so. So just usually laugh at them and let them go by and pass them about 10 laps later.
That's easier said than done. You know, most guys, they try to hang out there just a little bit and then they end up getting obliterated 10 laps later. So it's pretty tough out there, but we see you come in the second spot. Yeah, go ahead and take it away. You are starting to really work here on the points. I know that is definitely going to be something really in your favor here that you've been working on. You're currently sitting top 10 before the end of this race. We'll see where you end up after any kind of penalties are divvied out there, but we move into the crown jewel of the Indianapolis race next week. Obviously, we know that means we're going to be moving to 100% fuel limit, 120 laps. What was the AOL machine got for us there?
I'm not really sure. Everybody's gonna have to find out next week. I don't have a whole lot of laps at Indianapolis in the stock car, the Gen 4, whatever you want to call it. I think I ran a couple officials there, but that was the old car, so this is completely different. This thing drives completely different, so it'll be interesting. I see that I'm still sitting third in qualifying, so that's a good sign. But obviously, qualifying pace doesn't equivalent to race pace, so we'll hopefully get her figured out this week and maybe have something again for a top 5.
Yeah, some guys can knock down a super, super fast lap, but they just can't seem to hang with the crowd, so we'll see how well they can do. Kevin Ballmer, go in and give me a shout-outs here, bud.
Oh, yeah, just the admins that put on the league, Josh, and all them guys. You and Stella for doing the broadcast for us. You guys do a really good job. Appreciate it. I like to go back and watch the replays and stuff like that. Excuse me, stuff like that after the races. And just shout out to RCR and Brady with DEI. I'm headed there next year. And shout out to my wife for letting me get on here and play around with you guys for a couple hours.
Cool. All right, Kevin. Good luck to you, buddy, and we'll see what you can do. Also, I'm excited to see how you end up next season. So definitely be rooting in your corner. And Eric Essery says hi, buddy.
Oh, hey, Eric.
Yeah, but he was rooting you on. He said you had something for him, and he was right. We kind of was like, he's down there in 6th, maybe. No, you had a good pit strategy. I think that would definitely put you in the wheelhouse. Kevin, congratulations on the second place finish, and great job getting that AOL Chevrolet into second place.
Yeah, thanks. It had the bit between the teeth. It just wasn't quite enough.
Yep. We'll keep charging. Good luck out there, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Stella, you are catching up with our race winner here, Dalton Tucker, in the points lead, in this race, able to come away with it, and just ran out of fuel after turn number 1. You catch up with him.
I did. He is down here. This is our winner of tonight's race. That makes 5 wins and 10 podiums for Dalton Tucker. He is no stranger to the winner's circle. So tell us what your favorite part of this race was.
The checker flag when I had fuel in the car.
Yeah, we went and rode with you after the race ended when we saw Kevin pushing you from behind and saw that you only made it to lap number 1 before your car said, that's it.
Yeah, it actually, as soon as I crossed the line, that was the first sputter I had. And I was honestly worried that I was going to come around turn 3 and it sputter and give him enough momentum to pass me, and luckily it waited, but that was extremely stressful from about lap 80 on.
Oh my, that's a whole lot of stress there. Yeah, 40 laps of am I gonna make it? I don't know. You're more better than you are. But all right. Well, next week we go into Indianapolis. It's one of those crown jewel races, so it's going to be earlier for our viewers. It's going to be longer for you guys. How do you feel about going into that one?
I like Indy. To me, it's a lot like Pocono, just not 3 different turns, but it's very technical. If you miss your spot, you lose about half a second a lap, and I like that aspect of it. I know passing's gonna be tough, drafting's gonna be a big thing, but hopefully we just stay clean, keep the point lead that we got, and that's really all I care about at this point. Just staying clean, finishing up front, and just bringing it home in one piece at the end.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, if you're good at turn 2 here at Pocono, you should be good there because that turn 2 is formatted after Indianapolis. So it's just do turn 2 a few more times, and we'll call it practice is done. How are you doing on the qualifying? Have you done that yet?
I'm actually I'm gonna run a few test laps and see what I can do, and then jump in there. I'm not feeling great about it. I've done 1 lap so far, and my turn 2 at Pocono looked a lot better than these 4 turns here.
Oh dear. Okay then. Yep. Maybe a little more practice will be good. All right. Well, let's have some shout outs here. I'm sure you have that pretty down pat.
As always, shout out to my family. Send them a link every time, and it's late for them to stay up, but they try. But just appreciate them watching. As always, appreciate everybody in the league. My teammates Ryan and Rochelle was also in here, so just appreciate them being there. Appreciate Kevin for just one heck of a race, and I'm glad it came out the way it did. But that was a hell of a finish, whether I got first or second. And
he didn't exactly make it easy on you, did he?
No, not at all. And as always, just shout out to the league for bringing in this many people and just making the season that much better. And as always, just to close it out, just appreciate y'all in the booth. Stuff like this is just real fun to go back and watch when you've got all the stressful stuff behind you. Now you can just watch it and kind of chill.
Laugh.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Patrick, you want to close us out?
All right, awesome job, Dalton Tucker. Once again, I would say these wins aren't becoming surprising anymore, but you fighting from 17 positions back to come away with the win, and very, very close. One day I'm going to pick your brain to how you know how to follow behind a driver to make it just in time. I know you following behind Bradley James. There was a fuel conservation call, but going ahead and letting Kevin Baumler catch up, and then I don't know. I don't know how you can foresee something like that or come up with it. It did look like Vincent Arthur may have had your number, or Brian Jones had your number tonight, but some different pit strategy calls ended up taking them out of the race. Congratulations on your finish here at the Pennsylvania 500, buddy, and we'll see what you can do at Indy.
All right, appreciate it, y'all.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it there with Dalton Tucker. I think I might have stumbled him up there. He's like, whoa, Patrick, too much. All right, anyway. Stella, what a race here. It definitely worked out very well. Dalton Tucker, Kevin Baumler, and Cody Reeder, 1, 2, and 3. Oddly enough, Cody Reeder finished and started in 3rd. So the only other driver to do just that was Vincent Arthur, finished and started in 6th. So that was pretty wild there. Brian Jones, just wish he could have had just a little more fuel, and then he would have been able to have a heck of a chance at this race. Stella, anything left to add here?
No. Tell me, are we starting an hour earlier next week for Indianapolis?
I believe it's 30 minutes earlier. But I will definitely float the stream out there once I confirm our timing, and then we'll be ready to go. And then that way you guys are ready. Put the little notification bell on there, and that's how you'll know when we'll start.
There we go. That's what I was looking for, letting our viewers know when we don't want them to miss the show.
Yep. All right, guys. Appreciate you joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. Signing off here with the National Oval Racing Association, the Gen 4 Cup Series. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.